Well, hello everyone. Welcome to this week's Snippets micro message. My name is Margaret Burk with the Gate Church, and I'm so glad that you could join me this evening. I've got just a quick little message for you, and it's really just want to share with you just some simple keys to freedom. And I think it's just so important because there are just some simple things that we need to be aware of, especially as new believers, as they come on. We're talking so much about revival. We're talking about the harvest and bringing in new believers, and really we want them to learn all the things that will help them thrive, being in the kingdom and being a disciple of Christ. So. We all know the old saying, you don't know what you don't know. And it's true also when you're a brand new believer, you just don't know what you don't know. I mean, you don't understand some of the things that you're really receiving when you receive Christ. The basics that a lot of Christians get and then maybe not even move past is that when you accept Jesus, that you know your location when you die. I mean, that's one of the basics of the gospel, is the gospel of salvation, which is tremendous in itself. What a powerful gift Jesus gave for us. But there's so much more. And if you didn't know that, you wouldn't know that. If you didn't understand that, you wouldn't know that that was available to you, right? So when you're a brand new believer, you come in probably with all kinds of baggage. I know that God has a way of offloading a lot of that, at the cross, but there's still things out there that we hold on to because we don't know that we are liberated from them. We have been set free from them. We've done several teachings on, I love it when Pastor Lewis teaches on generational curses, because I don't believe in them. I don't believe in generational curses because I believe that we're a new creation, and the only generation that we have, everything is through the lineage of Christ now. If you've died and now you're born again by the seed word of God that's incorruptible, then really, seriously, we have a new lineage. So it's all about what you know and believe. So this is kind of the precedence. So that's a whole other teaching. And Lewis does a really great job with that. You can kind of search him out on the YouTube channel or visit our Facebook page at the Gate, or Lewis D. Sienna Ministries. He's got some really great teachings there. But what I want to share with you is just some simple keys, and I'm going to start with this number one. So many people know this, but it's a basic right here. It's out of John 8:31. Then Jesus said to those Jews which believed on him, so these are believers, they're believing Jesus, and he says, if you continue in my word, then ye are my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So one key to freedom is to know the truth. To know the truth. And how do you know the truth? You become acquainted with it. And it also says here, if you continue in my word, then you are my disciples. In other words, if you continue in the word, he is the word. He is the way, the truth, and the life. He is the word made flesh. So to understand Jesus, if to understand him, to get in the word, to understand what he says and what he's doing, then when there becomes this contrast of going, hey, I've been living my life like this, I didn't know the truth about this. So you're living in this lie. You're living in a bondage, basically, because you don't know what you don't know. But once the word comes, once the truth comes and you believe, it liberates you from the lie. It brings truth to the lie and brings freedom to you so that you're not held captive by that anymore. So that's one basic key, is to know the truth. But how do you know the truth? By getting in the Word, to understanding Jesus. Listen, so when I became a new believer, there are so many things I did not know about anything except for Jesus Christ. I had a encounter with him in my car. I wasn't saved in the church. I didn't go to an altar call. I got a lot of things that happened to me in altar calls, so I'm not discounting that at all. But when I got saved, I was driving in my car and I had this encounter. I had a conversion, and I wanted to know everything I could about Jesus. And so that hunger drives me into knowing Jesus, who is the truth, right? He is the Word, He is the truth. And so there were things that I did not know because they weren't taught to me, they weren't shown to me. And when I found them out, the thing that I believed, and one of them I'll share with you is as a new believer, I was caught up in a lot of fear. I was caught up in anxiety. I was caught up in worrying. My old saying when I was, um, pre-Christian, or yeah, I guess that you want to call it that, is that I was always worried if I wasn't worrying, because I didn't want to miss something. I didn't want to not think about something so that I could try and cover all my bases. And that is just self-preservation. It's like relying on your own self. And of course you're going to worry. You're thinking that, worry equates to, oh, I don't love my kids or my household or whatever because I'm not concerned or I'm not worrying over it. And what it did was wasted a lot of energy. I think I'm kind of missing out here. A lot of energy accomplishing nothing but worrying and wearing myself out. And fear was just one of those things that drives worrying. It drives anxiety. It drives a lot of things that in our life. It drives into a lot of identity issues. All of these things, fear is at almost at the bottom of everything. Now, so I did not realize that fear was a spirit until I read the word of truth and it was revealed to me, and I went, aha. Oh, okay. As a newer believer, I'm just going, well, I didn't know it was a spirit. Now I do know, and now I have the truth, and I go, and I can say that in the scriptures it says God did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. That's the truth. And I went, hey, wait a minute, fear. I don't need to have you because he gave us power, love, and sound mind. And that perfect love casts out fear. So now I have truth and I have been liberated from fear. And I went, oh my gosh, it was like this light went on. And it's that contrast to go, okay, I would not have known that if I did not know the word, if I did not know the truth, you see. And so what we end up doing is only taking little bits of the promises and the truths of God that he has given us, and we're living in things that we don't need to live in anymore because we just don't know what we don't know. But it is up to us to enrich ourselves and go after truth. And so God, in his lovely wisdom, even made it easier because he now gave us the spirit of truth. Now listen, it says here in John 15:26, it says, but when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth, which proceedeth from the Father, he shall testify of me, and he will also bear witness, because ye have been with me from the beginning. So in other words, he is bringing the spirit of truth. And then it says that, howbeit when he, the spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. So now we've got a helper to guide us into all truth. So as we go on our walk, some of the keys to freedom, because the truth sets us free, is to become familiar with the word and the truth and allow the spirit of truth to guide us into all truth. Okay? So they're very, very simple. It's like as soon as you see the word, as soon as the revelation comes, you receive it, and it can displace that lie. It can displace the bondage that you've been held into, and then you are totally able to be liberated from it once you believe. Isn't that amazing? So those are just some simple keys. I can go into a lot more here, but this is just one of the simple things. And I can tell you, once you have that truth, you use it to continue to stay in that place of freedom. And, because opportunities will come to test, fear always tries to come in, and you always have that truth that will always trump the lie. And so, yeah, that was revolutionary for me. I was just like, oh my goodness. I just believed it wholeheartedly. And I mean, I used to just worry and fret and be anxious about all kinds of things. As a matter of fact, I used to not like to fly at all. I was one of those white knuckle flyers. And so I would be so anxious, it would make me sick knowing that I had to fly somewhere for any kind of thing. And it just be would like, I couldn't talk. I couldn't hardly. And what happens when you're in that kind of fear is everything starts slowing down. Like you stop, you breathe really shallow, and you're just on the edge of your seat, and you're going through all these things in your mind, and you're just exhausted afterwards. And then when you get off the plane, such as I do, get off the plane and nothing has happened, it's like, okay, all that worrying. And I was able to give that to the Lord. And I now enjoy taking flights. I've actually made a few flights to overseas, and just had a great time on the flights. And it just is so liberating, because now I was boxing myself in. I would make choices based on my fear to, oh, I don't really want to go on a plane, or I don't want to travel in a car with people because I was afraid to drive with people because I'd been in so many car accidents in my past. And I got liberated from all of that. And can you imagine that opens up a whole world to you? And so these are just some simple keys, very simple. And the Spirit of Truth has been given to us to guide us and lead us into all truth. So it's all covered there. So much more to share, but those are just some of the simple little snippets I wanted to share with you tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you do, like it, share it. And I will see you next week at this week's Snippets Micro Message. So till next time, bye for now, and God bless.